follow the worldwide website. We're Hack the Dino. I'm Ben, that's Dan, and we've got the giggles tonight. I don't know why. We just started laughing like 2 seconds in.
We were so serious.
This is episode 71 of our little nonsense gaming variety show. Tonight, on this, the most historic first ever episode 71, we're going to be talking some E3 rumours. E3's just around the corner. That came up really, really fast. We're going to talk about the future of retro gaming. Bit of an oxymoron there. And finally, we're also going to be talking about bad game endings.
Bad game endings?
Yes. You can catch us if you are an audio listener. You can't catch Dan, though, because he's running away.
I plugged my mic into the wrong thing.
But if you're an audio listener, you can hear us over on
you can't.
iTunes. You can hear us over on SoundCloud and Spotify. If you're watching live right now, you're probably watching us on Twitch. So twitch.tv/hackthedino. And you may want to catch this later, or you may be watching it now later. That isn't now, so it's a future, but in our past, your part. Anyway, go to youtube.com/hackthedino. You can see our videos there. Not only the main show, but worst game reviews, copies of your stream.
I'm back.
And your front.
Yep.
Both here. And other very funny things that'll make you probably die.
Cool.
But in a good way.
Man, I'm so glad I noticed that mic there. Mine was turned up completely. Actually, it's still going pretty loud.
And we are...
Whoa.
What are you doing?
Let's keep going.
Yeah, I think we should.
All right.
We're proudly sponsored by King Kaiju Collectibles and Greenlight Comics, but more from them later.
Okay. So,
Dan,
what have we been playing?
what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing... What have I been doing? I did a stream on the weekend, and I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, I know what you're going to say. Why were you playing that garbage online multiplayer game that everyone hates?
Actually, I was just going to say there's still a bit of coffee in my water, and it tastes like really weird coffee water.
Brayden's having a bit of trouble with the...
Yeah, every
Anyway.
time I click away, it goes to another video. That's all right.
Yep.
That is weird.
Yeah, Dan, you were playing this game.
Yeah, so... Basically, Battlefield, I did the campaign of Battlefield 2. No one really talks about this campaign that very much, but I wanted to, a couple of people said to me, oh, it's really, really good, but everyone was so fixated, with all the, what was it, like the bad...
Loot boxes.
Yeah, loot boxing. And
microtransactions.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, no, I'm going to play it. And someone said, and I saw it the other day, and it was out in a sale for $12 the game. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And apparently, like the campaign's like 10 hours long, and I'm like, 10 hours, $12, that's fine.
It's written by Mitch Dyer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you also come across a NPC who tells you all about the Altano system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're friends.
That's weird.
It's cool. Wish I was in a Star Wars
So
game.
straight away, started the campaign up, and I noticed, first thing I noticed was, it's third person. And I was just like, yes, because I love my third-person campaigns, a la Gears of War, all those kind of things, like Just Cause and stuff like that.
Why?
And I don't know. I just think I like it. I think it actually, the graphics look...
Brayden,
Yo.
if I was asking you then, and you just mentioned Just Cause, and I said, oh, why? What would you say?
He doesn't know either. I didn't get it.
It's a setup. Why? And you say, Just Cause. You amateurs.
Hey,
anyway.
we're all a bit out of sorts today.
You're out of sorts. I'm firing on all cylinders. Anyway, Dan.
On all source. Anyway, it was third person, and I was like, yes, loving that, because I think third person games actually, it kind of makes it look like better graphics. You can go into first person, and I'm just like, it just looks like a first person shooter, but this, like, it rounds the world around. You can see your character doing the things, and it feels more video gamey to me.
I think because you can see more of
the world.
The world, yeah, you're more immersed in it, as opposed to first-person shooter, which not a fan.
And the graphics in this game are beautiful. It's so crisp and nice, and everything looks perfect, and your lighting's perfect, and it's just such a beautiful looking game. And the weapons, they feel good, like they feel like
They feel like,
the Star Wars blasters and all that stuff. And because you play, what made this game different is you play a baddie, or you play the, what are they called, the Imperials? No.
Yes.
The Imperials. You play an elite stormtrooper named, I can't remember her name. It's like Vince Urso or something. It's not that at all.
Gin Erso.
It's not that.
This is before she found the Death Star plans.
Oh, it's the wrong one. Yeah, you play this lady. So you play a lady stormtrooper elite, and you look so cool. You can see you're black. Your whole suit's black. You've got this red stripe going down the front of like your the stormtrooper mark. You got red stripes going down your arm, and you just look wicked. You've got kind of a canvas suit, which is instead of like the plastic white suits and stuff like that. And like in these bits here, where you can see here, I came up, and every time I saw a normal stormtrooper, I went to shoot him because I'm so used to shooting stormtroopers.
Now we're on the forest moon of Endor here,
Yeah.
obviously towards the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, so it's
The question I want to know, and on the lips of all of our listeners and viewers, is how many Ewoks do you get to slaughter?
none, because this is set after. This is set at the end of Return of the Jedi. So this is after the battle's happened. You do get to see though the reactions. Like you see the Death Star blow up, like the second Death Star, and you get to see the reactions of your characters seeing all their dreams just.
You know what would cheer them up?
What?
Putting bullet holes in those furry little teddy bears that defeated the Empire with sticks and stones.
If you look up, you do get to see them run around the trees and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're around. You probably can shoot them. I just didn't bother. But anyway, you've got like a 3-card weapon system. So it was actually up there earlier on. So you can pick like 3 slots to put abilities in. As you go through, you physically find abilities. So which is kind of cool. You don't earn them. You just actually run through the game and find a loot box on the ground that you actually like find. This ability is a stun grenade or a different sort of grenade or a rapid fire or a shield that lasts. You can see them in the. No, you can't see them actually because we're in front of it. So that works really well, and you end up like strategizing. Oh, that didn't work out, so I'll swap out in my next go and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. You see, the people who got watching the video here, the footage has gone to the first person, and you see how it's taken it away from it.
Yep,
this doesn't look like as
it's
as
really
cinematic.
weird. Yeah, you're taken out of the game by going into first person. It's really strange. I'm sure someone's written a paper on that. But anyway, continue, Dan. What didn't you like about it?
I'll get some more things I want to
Okay,
talk
sorry.
about. So as you go through the story, you get to play as key Star Wars characters. So
Okay.
it cuts to a different part of the galaxy, and you play as Luke Skywalker. And there's actually 3 main characters. There's you, who you play, and you got 2 teammates in your squad, the Inferno squad.
Right.
So So you play Luke Skywalker, and you meet up with one of the other characters and stuff like that. And then at one stage, I was playing as Princess Leia, like on a city planet.
Coruscant?
No, it wasn't that one. It was like one of the it doesn't matter. And yeah, she's blasting away, and you had to like do like, and it was just cool. And then at one stage you get into you steal an AT-AT, and you run through the city in an AT-AT smashing stuff. And it's just like, it changes it up. It's fun. It's just arcadey kind of, and just like I don't understand why I'm hoping Last Order. Is that the one new coming out? Jedi Order? What's that game coming out called?
The Jedi Man. The Jedi Man? Star Wars The Jedi Man.
What's it called, Brayden?
I think it's Jedi Order. No, it's
Last Order?
No.
No.
New Order.
Oh my god, yeah. Why can't I think of it?
Anyhow, the new Star Wars game coming out, I hope...
Jedi Man, coming to a system near you.
Yeah. It's a hut. It's Jabba and the Hutts.
Jabba and the Hutts.
Yeah, I hope it's going to be like it's going to be like this, a cool third-person game. And I mean, like it's showing it in first person now. It's ruining my thing.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. That's right.
Thanks, Rye Guy.
Some things that I didn't. Oh, right, guys. Some things I didn't like about it is that there are bits in the game where you have no idea what you're supposed to do. There's this bit where you had to fly a TIE fighter into a ship. Like a baddie ship, and you're flying to their docking bay, and as soon as I kept landing in there, my ship would blow up, and I couldn't work out what it was.
No ship.
Yeah, and look how cool they look.
Yeah, keep it rolling, Dan. We're on a time.
Oh, and so and eventually I don't know what even I did. Eventually I just kept doing it. I probably did it 25 times before one of the times it just worked, and I don't know what I was supposed to do in that. The space levels look amazing. Is there any way you can't cut to stuff? Can you, Brayden?
I certainly can. 1 second.
Space levels? What's good about the space levels?
It's quite... Yeah, look at this.
That's hectic.
So this is you fighting ships in the wreckage of the Death Star that is blown up.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and like, when you go through some of this wreckage, it all looks different. It's all awesome. All the sounds are like, And as the game goes on,
Cats.
you
There's
realize
cats in space.
Yeah, you realize that the game is you realize that you're on the bad guy's side because they do some pretty bad things to your home world in this, and your dad is one of the biggest jerks you've ever met in your life. So she has a good reason why she kind of goes against them, and she actually just all that really happens is that she just questions some of their stuff, and they just like charge her with treason. So she has no choice but to turn against them. So it's kind of cool. But yeah. So overall, I give the campaign of this a thumbs up, and I didn't even play the multiplayer.
Yep.
Moldy player.
Multiplayer.
Look at these bits.
Well, that's it looks like a cool game. It's something I would probably pick up. $12 probably still a little bit too much, but I'll get it when it's a little bit cheaper. Speaking of a little bit cheaper and so amazing, I took the advice of many reputable game sources, I should say, people at IGN and Kinda Funny, who we are big fans of. They raved about this little game called Ding Dong XL, and it's up here on the screen. It's such a good name. We can see it there.
Ding Dong XL.
It's Pong, right? You're going up and down, but you just have to avoid the blocks. And it's got this really, really awesome...
Can you control the ball?
Yeah, you are controlling the ball. So you have to...
It's
one button.
You just control when it moves.
Yep, it's just one button. You're just pressing one button all the time. And you have to avoid all those things. But then you can get bonuses and smash them and get extra points and whatnot. And it's basically the highest score wins. However many times you go to the other side counts as one. And when you hit one of them and you die, that's it. It progressively gets harder, and the objects speed up or slow down. But the coolest thing as well is this, because it's an independent game, the independent game maker has enabled you to rack up points and spend them on different icons. So, Braden, if we go forward just a little bit more, I reckon we might see one of those icons. Maybe? No. Anyway, you can unlock the IGN logo, the Kinda Funny logo. You can unlock Jared Petty's 8-bit face, and you can unlock Portillo, which is Greg Miller's dog.
Oh my god, yes.
Because
I might have to cut that out. Oh, is that 2-player?
Yeah. You can have competitions and whatnot. But this game is so addictive, and it's $1.50 on the Australian eShop for Nintendo Switch.
About the sweet beats as well.
Oh, awesome. Awesome music. It was just a techno electronic theme.
I am a fan
really pumping.
I love electronica.
It was really, really cool.
Ooh.
But I also managed to get my hands on What Remains of Edith Finch, which is one of this month's PlayStation Plus free games.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. This is great, this game.
Have you played it?
No, but I've read all about it.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea. Is this the one with the rooms?
Yeah.
It's all about a house and like the story?
Basic premise is you're someone who's on a boat. The opening scene opens with a boat, and you're reading a diary, and it tells this story. And you're walking around this house, of which you know, and it deals with a family and how each member of that family passed away. And every time they passed away, their room sealed off and created like a shrine or a museum. So you go in through there and find diary notes and discover how they died and more about them and how that sort of comes along to a curse for this family. It's a really beautiful game. It's a walking sim, so it's nothing too strenuous. But what I really, really like about it is that you play... first of all, I forgot to mention that the controls are really intuitive. So we're coming up to a scene here where, for those listening on the podcast, you're opening a window.
There's a bird out there.
So you actually press forward, you press the right trigger to grab, and then you push forward with both control sticks as your hands to open the door.
Oh, okay.
And then there's another one where like you're on a swing, and you swing both legs like independently, but using the DualShock thumbsticks.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good, and it just little things like that, like you turn a page by going over, it puts you in the game a lot more. So this is, really great story.
Oh, you're playing a bird there.
Yeah, well, this is one of the story mini games that goes into...
yeah, I saw some of the mini games on there. They look really good.
So I'll talk about the mini games now. There was so they have different styles. They're very, 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 very simple ones. So, for example, you might play a 30-second mini game. This one we can see on screen now is you're a monster and you're going around eating people because it's part of a little girl's dream. You can see the monster there about to grab the dude and yoink. And
he was like the darkness.
Then later on, one of the games, I guess it's sort of like the crescendo, antitheses. No, the antitheses of the game, the high point of the game. You play as Edith's brother Lewis and how he died. Braden, I think we've got footage there. This is his mini game here. So he was a man who had a menial job in a tuna factory. And you can see on the screen here, he's using his right hand to catch a fish from a conveyor belt and put it on a chopping block to chop off its head and go forward to processing. Very mind-numbing job.
Yeah, like a processing. Yeah.
The story starts that Lewis... So this story begins reading a letter from a psychiatrist. Lewis had delved into drugs and had a schizophrenic episode.
Oof. There's a fish in...
Yeah, so what you're seeing here on screen is the right-hand side, you're controlling the fish and getting the hand chopped off. But then with the left-hand side, you can see this cloud creeping in, and it's a king walking around. It starts off really, really simple and then gets slowly more detailed as the story tells that Lewis's psychosis deepened. And he sort of had this reality where he was an explorer and a king is taking over the current day reality. So that sort of takes up more of the screen. So with your left hand, you're controlling this king walking through a town, and the right hand, you're controlling getting the fish and chopping it off. So you've got sort of one hand in reality and one hand in fantasy.
Yeah, right.
And then as the psychosis go on and on and on and get more and more detailed, it takes over more of the screen until you come to the end of Lewis's tale, because of course he passes away as well in quite horrific circumstances. Quite sad.
Is it in the fish factory?
Spoiler.
I'm not saying.
I'm not going to say, because everyone should play this game. It's free on the PlayStation Plus network now.
Go get it. Get it right now, guys.
It's not even long. It's like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's a great game. So everyone should really, really play it. I cannot recommend it enough. But you and I like very different games. Like, you didn't like Rhyme, whereas I thought it was brilliant. It's not challenging at all. I
didn't mind that one. Welcome to the... What was it called? The Rapture. You remember that? Welcome to the Rapture.
I didn't play that one.
Walk 'em up. I did that whole game. That was alright.
Right. But yeah, cool game. Really enjoyed it. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have a thing now? Moving on to the next bit.
Let's get it.
Whoa, look at that stinger.
Oh,
You've outdone yourself there, Mr. Dan.
I hope it worked.
I'm sure it did. Okay, we're going to kick off the news section with some E3 rumours. Now, before we go on to this, I did want to say that, yes, there has been a lot of other news that we probably won't cover, but that's been covered by every other single gaming website out there. So we're going to focus on the other stuff that you may not get from them, because, let's face it, they do a much better job than us at the moment.
So the most important news of the day.
Yeah, no.
Predator.
No. These are some E3 rumours that I've found. We've got some E3 predictions next show. But up on the screen now, you can see a homemade VR game for Predator using a GoPro. This isn't what's coming out, but a Predator VR game has been leaked to be revealed at E3. This was done by the trophy list being discovered and leaked. Which only happens once the game's completed, obviously. Blah, 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 blah. I believe, and I'll go into this a little bit later on, but this is hinting more at the fact that Sony will have a state of play a week before or during E3, which I think is sort of silly if they don't, considering they don't have any physical presence at the show this time round. Next rumour is a next-gen Fable game will probably be announced at E3, and we can see the reboot of Fable here, or the remaster here.
The rejigger.
The rejigger. So apparently it's going to be a reboot of the whole series. It's scheduled for 2021, which I reckon might bring it just after launch of the PlayStation 5. It'll be a quick reveal during the E3 conference this year, although people said that we were going to see that at E3 last year and at the Game Awards last year as well. But it's obviously gathering steam.
Have you ever played a Fable game?
I have not.
I haven't either. Ooh, we've got something in common.
Yeah.
Weird.
Xbox exclusive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an Xbox. Have you played them, Braden?
God, no. It was an Xbox exclusive. I'm a PlayStation kid, my boy.
Whoa.
Wow. I didn't realise
Console
there was
wars.
any rivalry.
Okay, coming up as well. Hang on to the butts, because this one's sure out of left field. Halo Infinite will get a huge info dump with a new trailer and possible 2020 release date. So I'm guessing that is going to be tying in with the Scarlet, which of course is the next generation Xbox console that is due to come out, or we're thinking will come out very, very soon in the
This is,
next year.
I'm really excited about Halo Infinite. I reckon it's going to be cool.
Yeah, well, we're looking at the trailer now that was revealed at E3 last year or Game Awards.
Wow, the graphics look so good.
Yeah, well, they do that with pre-rendered videos.
Yeah, I know.
And finally, from the ye olde rumour mill, Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red have confirmed that they will be there, but it will not be playable to the public. There are rumours going around that there's going to be a new trailer, and we will probably get a release date. I'm really excited for this game, and I can't wait for it to be banned in Australia and not be able to play it.
I reckon this game is going to be one of those hype machines that doesn't, like to me, I'm looking at this now, and I'm like, it looks okay. But, like, what was it, Watch Dogs? The very first Watch Dogs? That was such a hype machine, and they showed all this stuff. And then when you played it, you're like, it's okay. And I reckon this is going to be the same.
Well, from what I've read from people who have actually played the game in E3 last year and whatnot, they all say it's exactly like this. Like, it is very, very good. They're all very excited about it.
Yeah, cool.
So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm assuming everyone else is as well.
Keen?
Go.
Good. Hot take there from me. Hot take. Okay, on to some regular news. There was a little trailer that debuted earlier this week for Minecraft Earth.
What?
Yeah, did you see this at all, Braden?
No.
Okay, so you're following this hip young teen who looks about 28. But
She looks young.
yeah, she's young because she's got a skateboard and a backpack and chews bubblegum. Seriously, she looks...
Traumatization.
Anyway, it's Pokemon Go, but for Minecraft. So you go around, you collect blocks, you find blocks, you build things on flat surfaces.
But you have to hold your phone in front of your face to do it.
Yep, and I can guarantee you we're going to see lots of Minecraft penises everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at her. She's playing... No, that's not how it works. Is this what they've replaced with... But do you remember they were like, oh, man, it's going to be amazing. There's going to be like... Do you remember that one with the augmented reality that they showed a while back?
With Minecraft?
The E3 stage.
Yeah, and that was ages ago. They've done nothing with that.
Maybe this is it.
Like the idea that everyone is in the same world of Minecraft and you can just make whatever you want and it's just there permanently in the game for every single person. If that's what it is.
I think that's what they're hinting at here. Because she's looking at other people's
But
constructions.
it's going to be buggy. You know what I mean? Stuff isn't going to register as being there. It's going to be inside of things. And But that's just not going to work. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to plonk stuff on top of a house.
Minecraft, your world.
Well, I guess we'll find out when Minecraft Earth comes out sometime soon.
And Dan is skeptical.
Red Dead Online launched a couple of weeks ago now, officially out of beta. There's been a bit of a worrying trend. You can see on the screen now.
Soon, yeah.
Yeah, piles of dead horses are being found coming up Red Dead Online.
This video that I got, and it's got this guy on the horses, you can see here, and he's just freaking out and just stabbing the horses.
Just piles and piles of dead horses. It's also been reported that this particular glitch is causing players to lag out as well.
There's just too many dead horses on the screen.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a...
Because they're all burned as well.
Yeah, well, there was that glitch in the game where
The horses on fire.
Yeah, you walk across a certain
They've
bit
really
of
got
land.
a problem with their horses, don't they?
Well, I mean, is it a problem or is it something that that they've put in on purpose to get some kind of interest?
Rockstar really hates horses.
Yeah, man. I like the look at this guy here for the people watching it in the video. He just kind of stops and he's
stands on a rail
and stands on a rail and floats. Anyhow, so what's next in the news?
Kojima Watch.
My favourite part of the show,
Kojima Watch. What's good old Kojima been up to? There was a tweet that Kojima sent out the other day teasing a new Death Stranding trailer, which again I think points to Sony gearing up for a state of play reveal. But what we can see on the screen now is a tweet that Kojima set out. And I don't actually have it on me, but basically in his tweet he said, I realised I haven't sent out any high-res images of the backpack the main character wears for all you cosplayers out there. So here you go.
And he also said, get the details right because it's inaugural to the abilities in the game.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like every pouch is going to be related to one
So look
thing.
at this. What do we got on this backpack?
We got a canteen of water. We got...
What's that yellow thing? Do you reckon that's water?
Yeah, that'd be his water canister, I think. Or a battery backpack. I don't know.
What if it's his womb juice?
Yeah, there's a little thing on the bottom there of it, and there's also a dream catcher hanging off of it.
Yeah.
If you've noticed.
Norman Reedus is very spiritual.
Is he?
No.
Is that why he doesn't wash his hair?
Oh.
Oh, or his face. So yeah, it's a little backpack, and then there's a big hard case behind it, like a steel me case, as they're called in my industry.
Well, I want to know where this is from, because in the background there, that looks like Street Fighter V up on the screen.
Oh, this would
and
be
Devil May Cry. Yeah.
This would be at like a games floor thing, because at the PAX when I went there was like Kojima model-y things there as well.
Kojima modelling things.
Model-y. Look at those boots.
No, Kojima was there just modelling his clothing range.
Ooh.
Saying you want to watch? Here you go.
Those boots are serious boots as well. Like, so he's put the boots up on the backpack so cosplayers can get the boots right.
Yep, that's pretty cool. I like you think, oh, that's a bit full of yourself, Kojima, thinking people are going to cosplay your character, and then you go, nah, it's probably on brand.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen everywhere.
But yeah, for the people on the podcast, check it out. On the line.
On the line. I've also tweeted it over on our Facebook page, so join over there and check it out.
Check it out there.
Okay, Braden, topic of the show.
Whoa.
No. There's some ads.
Oh. Hi, we're back, and don't know what we're doing.
How did you miss? This is the thing you miss every week.
Yeah,
I know.
Patreon.
It's in the bluest, giantest writing in our...
On our run sheet, I've got thank the Patreons in highlighted blue and big capital letters, and I still missed it. Anyway, Dan, take over.
Thank the Patreon. Thank you, Patreons.
And supporters.
And supporters of us. But we particularly want to thank the Patreons because they support us with the cold hard cash that makes us buy equipment and upgrade our stuff and keep us going. You guys, we can't do this stuff without you guys. And you can see you guys on the screen there. I'm just going to do a quick shout out to you really quick. So thanks to Mike, Chris, Sam, Luke, Henry, Luke.
Luke.
I'll put him in
twice.
There twice. Natalie.
Cheers, Luke.
Todd, Tommaso, Ash, and Karen, and Ashraf. Thank you very much, guys. These are the guys that help us out.
And if you want to shout out or join to the supporter-only exclusive group, you can simply subscribe on Twitch, or you can head on over to patreon.com/hackthedino, support for as little as $1 a month, and get a whole slew of exclusive content. Now, we recorded our little skit, Sell Me a Comic, for all the Patreons a little bit earlier, and that stuff's getting stupid.
Yeah, you should.
It's getting dumb.
It's getting awesome. Anyhow.
But head on over to patreon.com/hackthedino for $10 a month. If you're feeling, generous, you can watch other show live as we record it. Hack the Dino More, or Dino More, whatever we're calling it now.
Yeah, cool.
Anyway, Dan, plug the thing.
And also, one of our main sponsors, Greenlight Comics. So let's get the ad going. There it goes. And there's me and Ross walking. So Greenlight Comics is in Adelaide, 18 Stevens Place. It's the comic shop that I own. It's beautiful. It has desks. It has counters. It has graphic novels. Come down. We've got a subscription service. We've got everything. We've got everything a comic shop could want. See you soon.
There it is.
There it is. And I'm not very good at my ad.
No, but we'll practice. Here, let me give it a go. With King Kaiju Collectibles. Here he is. King Kaiju's hidden in those images. Can you see him? Maybe he's that Bomberman. Maybe he's that Mario All-Stars cart.
In a cart.
Maybe he's that Clown Kaiju. Maybe, just maybe, he's hiding behind this thing. That big green man. But King Kaiju Collectibles sells all this stuff. You can see it in Greenlight Comics. You should go down there, have a look, because he's awesome and we're awesome.
And we're back.
And our fronts. I've said that joke already this show, but I don't care. I'm sticking to it.
We're back in our fronts. This is our topic of the show. Bad game endings.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of publicity. Felicity. There's been a lot of felicity about Game of Thrones and people throwing up their arms and going, oh, it ended badly. Oh, here's a petition, rewrite it. Here's a petition, rewrite it.
Oh, okay, we will.
Because I'm entitled in my own little bubble, and it didn't work out because, the whole show's about subverting the hero's journey, and I actually had a discussion with someone.
Anyhow, let's not get into this.
Just very quickly, I had a discussion with someone on Twitter. Now, I quite earnestly said, look, if you had to write the ending to Game of Thrones, how would you like it to end? And this person said, I'd kind of like to, not...
Don't tell me, because I haven't watched it yet, and they'll know that doesn't happen.
Well, if you've watched it anyway, you know. But basically, he wants to see the good guys win. He wants to see, literally... the good knight slay the dragon and live happily ever after. Oh, yeah. And that was his idea of how Game of Thrones should end. Anyway, so Game of Thrones not sticking the landing. I thought, what games have been really, really awesome up until that final critical boss and ending and just blew it. Just didn't stick it, didn't land it.
I reckon we've nailed it with these as well.
All right, so we've gone 3 each. Dan, you've got 3, I've got 3. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So my first one is the last boss in Final Fantasy X. Now, this was in my my favorite games of all time list that we did the other day.
Other day or month.
Yeah. But the end boss, so you're fighting Final Fantasy, you put 95 hours in it, you fight all these monsters to get to this point, and then the end boss is a little tick in the middle of the screen. That you can't lose against because you get like a magic healing that continually goes over your character. So it's just this long slog of hitting a tick that keeps healing itself, and you just have to keep hitting it. But you can't lose, and it's the most disappointing thing. It's actually religion.
What?
It's the Yevon is the religion in the game, and you're fighting Yevon, the manifestation of the religion, which is a tick.
Right.
It's so disappointing when you get to it. The fight just before this was awesome.
Right.
And they should have just cut it off there. It should have been the end, but they tacked this thing on there, and you're just like, nah, this is rubbo. So that's my number one.
All right.
Ben.
My third one, I'll say, is this game.
That was my third one.
Not that one, Braden. We're going to mine, which is Mario Brothers 2. Now, spoiler alert for a 20-year-old game. You appeared to have cut this one early, Dan. Here's the ending. You finish the game. It's quite a hard game. You finish, you beat Wart, you beat him up, and then Mario wakes up and it was all a bad dream. That's the ending. It was all a bad dream.
I think, I was mentioning this earlier, I think they did this to because the game is vastly different from every other Super Mario game, and I think they did this just to keep the continuity of Mario, the look of it, because it looks different to a Mario game. It played different. And
Well,
I think
of course,
it's a hypothetical version of Mario.
We know that Mario 2 is Mario USA over in Japan because Nintendo thought that us Westerners wouldn't be able to handle the actual Mario 2, which was Lost Levels, which was basically the world's biggest troll game.
Which you can't handle, yeah.
So they reskinned a game called Doki Doki Panic. And if you look up Doki Doki Panic, it's the exact same image. Wart and everyone's there, but the main characters have been replaced with Mario, Toad, Princess, and all those lovable characters that have now found their way into our hearts.
Santo.
Like
I did like this ending, how it just goes through and shows you the names of all the characters you're fighting.
I hated it.
I loved it. Yeah, it's alright.
They got those names wrong way around. Ostro is the other one, and Birdo's that one. They messed up. You messed up, Nintendo of America.
Well, this is the Super Nintendo remake version.
Well, they messed up too. Everyone messed up. You're all a bunch of mess ups.
All right,
Dan, your game.
My next one is I'm going to do Borderlands.
Oh.
The end of Borderlands 1. They're going on about the Destroyer, the Destroyer of Worlds, this big Destroyer beast, and then you get to him at the end of the game, and he's just a big blob that has tentacles, which is a bullet sponge, that you just sit there and just lay into him. He's not hard. And it's just like, this is it. This is what I've been playing this game for hours and hours. They keep mentioning this Destroyer, and it's going to, end the world. He finally comes out, and he's just this guy that you can see on the screen. He's just a flat blob with some arms, and it's just, are you kidding me? Like, this game is so good up until this point, and then it's disappointing. it's just
So is there any skill to it at all, or are you just pumping him full of bullets?
You can see what's happening.
That's
here.
it. That's the whole game. You're just shooting his eyeball.
Yeah, or just shooting him. I mean, bits more come out, and you do some dodging and hiding, but there were so many harder other fights in the game. Like, it's just, and he's just really strong. So he's just a bullet sponge. You just have to just keep going. Your biggest enemy is running out of ammo, which I think they give you. Look out for that slow-moving tentacle. Oh dear. Anyhow, so this was such a great game, Borderlands. And then just the end guy was just such a disappointment. I was like, oh my god, this is like they phoned it in. It's the worst.
Right, so my next game is Ghosts and Goblins. Now we can see here Arthur fighting Satan. And this is a really hard game. Like, you get 2 shots. And you defeat Satan, you think, yes! And then this message comes up and it says, this room is an illusion, and it's a trap by Satan. Go back to the start and start again. So you play this whole game where you get hit once and you lose your armor, get hit again, you're dead. The game itself goes for a good couple of hours, and you think, yes, I finally defeated it. You defeat Satan, and he goes, oh, no, this was just an illusion. You got to go back and do the whole game again. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
So they make you to play the game twice, but harder. Harder on the second time.
That is a rip-off. That's a blatant, like, you're jerks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oof.
Dan, number one.
So the one I think the most that annoyed me the most was Fallout 3, the ending. So you can see here the guy on the screen here. This is the guy who killed your dad, or I think it was killed your dad. You've been after him the whole game. You know, you've been like, who is this guy? You finally meet him, and then he basically, this is it, hit him once. He's dead. His head's fallen off. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So you go into this room in this giant armor. You know, you're basically a tank. And it's just a dude in there with no armor or anything, and you kill him, and that's the end.
Cool story.
I mean, there's a couple of enemies here around him, but like you can see here, they just fall over and die. And then you go in and you press a button, and then it's just a series of 5 still images with like, and then the game ended.
Wow.
And that's like, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me? That's the end?
So much time in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, is this also the ending where like she has to sacrifice herself to go in and cop all the radiation, and there was an outcry, so Bethesda patched it so like you can send in the robot instead of the living human?
I think you do send in the robot. No, you send in the... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's boring. You can see here, even the footage here is boring. This is the end of the game, and I'm like...
Yeah, high-paced action adventure.
To give it a bit more credit, though, there was a cool scene before this. Like, coming to this point, there was some action and adventure. But this is the end guy. The end guy was rubbish.
Yep. Speaking of the end guy being rubbish, is my number one.
Also from Right Guy in the chat.
Yep.
If you get the DLC, you survive no matter what, and the game continues.
Oh.
So get the DLC.
There you go. Get the DLC.
But I've finished
the
it.
ending.
There's nothing to do after the end.
Buy the ending.
Here's my number one pick, and I was very, very disappointed in this. It is, of course, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Beast Ganon fight. So the fight before this was really, really difficult. Well, not really difficult. It was challenging.
Yeah, it was
a
a
good
good
fighting.
fight.
Yeah. And then he transforms into Beast Ganon. You find yourself out in Hyrule Field with this big, big, dark beast Ganon, and you think, sweet, I'm gonna have to gallop around and chase him down and you know, go on a horse adventure with him and defeat him. But no, he just stands there and bright targets come out on his back and you just shoot him with an arrow.
Yeah, it's rubbish. And it's a thing that no one did in the game.
Yeah.
How often did you ride your horse and shoot stuff with an arrow?
Oh, well, a lot.
Did you?
Well, yeah.
I didn't.
But the you can see there, he doesn't move. He just sort of goes, roar.
And you just kind of like, it's just a time, like, you just have to be back at the front of him at a certain point.
Yeah.
And then you shoot him in the face. And it's just like, oh my God, is this it?
Yeah.
So all the examples I've noticed that we're talking about here, these are games that should have ended before.
The previous boss.
Yeah. Like the Final Fantasy, this one, the Fallout one, like that, it should have, you know.
He's not even moving. He's just sort of there, kind of weirdly humping
it's like
the ground.
a tutorial on how to use your bow.
It is, yes. It's a tutorial for a main boss.
They did a consensus and they're like, what's the thing you use the least in the whole game? The bow. Oh, okay, we'll have it. You have to use the bow. Basically, we'll train you how to use it on
How
the
good
last
would
guy.
have this been if Ganon was running around Hyrule, just around the
actual map?
Yeah, just running around,
you-
either chasing you down, like, oh, he did an attack, but you ran out of the way because you saw it coming a mile on.
This is like the Borderlands one. It's just a big bullet sponge just standing there waiting to get shot.
And what's more, you also get a completely OP weapon in the light arrows from Zelda, which take off like a fifth of his energy with each shot.
Yeah. You know what the hardest thing in this game was? The first boss I played was so hard.
Which one was it?
I don't know.
Was it the one in the camel? Because that's a hard one.
No, it was just one of them, and I wasn't powerful enough, but I persisted. This game's so hard. Yeah. Good
He's about to get a blood moon.
talk.
Ooh, I haven't watched this footage. Is that going to be a blood moon? And then he's going to replenish all his health? That'd be funny. Anyway, yeah. That's it. That's our 6 worst top games ending ever
It's basically the worst bosses.
thing. Yep. Good.
But yeah, that was good fun.
Now, viewer questions. Okay, we've got some viewer questions here from viewers who have questions for us. They can ask us over in our Facebook or drop us an email or on any of the social media things. These ones I got from Instagram, in our DMs in the old Instagram, @HackTheDino, funnily enough. So the first one is from Joshua Timchin. I hope I got that name right. And Joshua asks, do you think retro game collecting of current generation titles will be as popular in 20 to 30 years as traditional retro game collecting has been? I think I read that really weird. Did I read that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, well, doesn't matter. Who cares?
No,
Dan.
I don't think it will be because I feel everything's going kind of digitally. I even now I feel like my older games of like my my PS3 games are kind of like they just don't have the pizzazz and the nostalgia of the older games here. We've got some footage up here now to some older game. What version of Daytona is this?
It's the NES version.
This is by Game Here, by the way. Thank you for letting us use this footage. I didn't ask. But yeah. So I don't know. Is that what you kind of think, or?
Look, I think retro gaming is so popular at the moment because people my age are sort of the first or second generation to grow up on video games. So we have that nostalgic desire to play them again because we sit down and we get that dopamine hit going, oh yeah, Battletoads, sweet! And you remember playing it and battling it and, you know, you might be able to get through the stages where you couldn't as a kid. I think that retro gamings will always appeal to the generation that were kids when they came out. Yeah. So, Brayden...
Yeah, he's obsessed with like PlayStation 1, aren't you, right?
Yo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, that was my jam.
So you really, well, not collect, but you would go back and play PS1 games,
yeah,
correct?
So I'm literally at the moment scouring through the local classifieds, and I'm hunting down all the PS2 games that I loved as a kid.
Yeah,
PS2.
So now's the time to buy PS2 games because no one wants any of that.
Yeah, they're like $5.
But would
$2.
you go and buy, like, would you play an NES? Would you play, Flintstones on the NES?
See, nah, because I didn't grow up with that sort of stuff.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly my point.
So retro gaming is a section generational, basically.
Yeah,
so then it will survive.
Exactly,
it just won't survive in the way that we look at it. It'll always be there, but it'll be different for each generation on how they feel and look at it.
Now, the only big problem is that
Online
now
games.
that a lot of them now are discs, and discs don't last forever.
That is true.
Wait,
but
they don't?
No, discs degrade very, very quickly.
they have a lifespan.
Whereas cartridges, yeah, you can dump that sucker in hot water and it'll still work.
But they have, like I was saying, with my Hyperspin unit, there are emulations out there that emulate the actual game.
Yep.
And so you're basically archiving all these games on a computer.
And I think that's very important. So it's not... That's the problem with people going pirating. And we had this discussion a couple of episodes ago.
This is a game called Scunny Cart. SKUNNY Cart.
We had this discussion a couple of shows ago. I actually think preserving these game codes on machines like Hyperspins or whatnot are essential because we're not going to have these games for a long, long time, especially with the degradation of CDs. And,
I mean, plastic can't last forever.
No.
The things are made out of. PC Engine games are the strongest thing in the world, but they're not going to last 3,000 years.
No. So we sort of went on a skew topic there. But yes, I think those who grew up with Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 will hunt them down again. And it'll continue.
We've got the proof by doing the show.
Behind this green screen.
Yeah, behind this big curtain. Don't look behind it. Ignore the man. Anyway. Another question we've got here is from Chris Price. And Chris asks, what is your favourite non-work, non-gaming hobby or pastime? Dan, getting a bit personal.
So one of my things that I love doing is setting up my stream. I work very, very hard on my streams. You can see it's my opening of my stream that we're watching now. I put a lot of work into
I'm really impressed with that Guardians of the Galaxy one, by the way.
Yeah, you like
I think
that?
that's great.
So these are from old videos that I've made and stuff like that. Putting a stream together, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of computer work in it, learning cameras, learning lighting, lots of reading and stuff like that. And I just find that really, really, really fun. So one of my things, so I've got 3 things I actually do. So this is my first one, is like I work on my streams. My second one is I do a lot of skateboarding. So yeah, I actually do a sport. I do skateboarding. Here we have, and I do a lot of skateboard filming as well here. I used to, and I don't do as much filming as I used to, but this is some skate videos that I've made in the past. And so I do a lot of skateboarding outside of being on the computer. And the third thing I do is that I watch anime. I love anime. The best thing that ever happened in my life was my Crunchyroll account. Finally, I don't have to think anymore. I don't have to torrent. I don't have to download.
How good's Crunchyroll, by the way? Crunchyroll's fantastic.
That's what I'm saying.
I love Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll, if you'd like to sponsor us.
Oh, dude, sponsor.
We love Crunchyroll. Everyone out there, all of our lovely viewers and listeners would also love Crunchyroll. But Crunchyroll, we need your help. So Crunchyroll, come on over.
Stop overtaking advertising on my stuff. Yeah, I love anime. I love getting into my battle mangas, my Black Clovers, my Narutos, my Bleach, my Radiance, my Hero Academia, all of them. I watch them all. I love it.
Sounds crunchy.
Crunchyroll.
No.
Looking at you. Give me a sponsorship. And that's it.
All right. So I'll add a quick little things because I didn't realize you were going to 3. I just chose one thing.
I couldn't narrow it down.
But I'm a dad. I have an 11.5-year-old daughter, so I hang out with her a lot and do stuff.
Yeah, your dad.
I do the dad things. What else do I do? I work, but that's not part of it.
You do your stuff.
But I also do karate, specifically Japan Karate Association. So we can see here one of the old fights with Naka Sensei. He's got the red belt on there.
Oh, belt that dead in the face.
Yeah. So this is what I do for my pastime.
You do this a lot as well.
Yeah, I do this 5 times a week. I've taken classes from Naka in Japan. He's actually sort of like a superstar over there. He's actually a film star as well.
Is it really?
Yeah. He's genius. Like, one of the things he does now.
One?
Yeah.
It's aggressive.
It's very aggressive. People lose teeth. But Naka is amazing to see. That Gakuzuki just there, he just picked it and knocked him out. And here he is against Frank Brennan. He actually loses this fight because Frank Brennan's a multi-time world champion. But yeah.
Frank.
It's crazy. But I'm also a judge and an instructor. So I travel to Japan, train. Hopefully, I'll be trying out for the world competition next year, and I make the Australian team.
5 days a week. That is definitely your biggest hobby.
Yeah, but that's not the only part of karate that I like. There's another part called kata, which is demonstrating, sort of telling a story, but over movements. And I think we got another video there, Braden. This is Naka Sensei again, doing Niju Shiho, which is a kata. He actually did this one on the set of Kuryobi, which is black belt.
You sure this isn't just the motion cap from Mortal Kombat?
No, but this is one of my favorite katas that I like doing.
This is the reason why I stopped karate, was the kata. I hated it so much as a kid.
Well, you just have to visualize what attack's coming and what...
I just couldn't remember what came next.
Oh, well, that's why you practice.
As a kid,
But this is what I really like about karate. I don't know if you can see his belt there, but see how it's so faded and used and worn that it's white?
Is that a black belt?
Yeah, well, he is. He's a 7th Dan black belt. But what happens is, because you train so much and you type your belt so much, all the cotton wears away and it becomes white. So the whole thing is, yes, you journey, you go from white belt to black belt, but then when you become a black belt, you go back to being a white belt because you realize there's no... it's a continuing journey. So once you reach, like, having a black belt just means you've ticked all the boxes for the basics. So as soon as you get to black belt,
patches.
When you get to black belt, that's the time to...
And that's why they did all the 7s and 8 stams and stuff like that. And then they're like, let's not have any more dans.
No, actually, Funakoshi did that when he was developing the system.
Yeah, right.
And he was only up to 5th dan when he passed away. So now Shihan is
and
rookie.
And let's continue on.
Sorry, Dan.
Karate podcast.
I was taking the limelight away from Dan.
It's true.
So let's bring it back with this little segment we like to call and stutter about. Braden.
Hey.
Braden's here. Who is that man? That beardless man. That beardless man in that braid
new
cam.
haircut.
Yeah, I got where's the camera? Here. I got a haircut the other side, and now I'm just going all messy with it and everything.
Okay, for those of you who don't know what Dan versus the World is, I have 3 songs. I will play the first 5 seconds of one of those songs. And Dan, who is representing Dan, will take on Brayden, who is representing you, the world. All of your hopes and dreams are in the hands of Brayden's noggin.
You're going down, world.
His noggin hands.
Brayden doesn't know what to do with that.
Dan will go first and ask a question. Then Brayden back and forth for 5 questions. At the end of 5 questions, they each have a guess. If they are right, they get a point. If they are wrong, they don't get a point. If they are both incorrect, it is a draw. They can choose to answer beforehand to try and pip the other at the post. But if they get it wrong, no double guns.
I'm gonna do a title card for this rule, so we don't have to do this every week.
Thank goodness.
Finally.
All right, so as we stand now, the world is on 19 and Dan is on 20.
Ooh,
Okay,
I'm
so
in the lead,
here's our
ladies. Hello.
First song. Dan, question number 1.
What year was it made? You don't know that, do you?
No.
What company made it?
Nintendo.
Nintendo. Well, that's a
Big surprise.
Narrows
surprise.
that down.
Big surprise. Braden.
What console's that on?
The Nintendo.
Oh, great. Cool.
Question number 2, Dan.
what Super Mario Brothers 2 is it? Oh, sorry, Super Mario Brothers 2. That was an on-purpose joke. And Brayden, have you noticed that I've accidentally got the green screen on your thing and it's green screening out all the stuff behind you?
Yeah, all that little stuff, like just
The orange?
shelf.
No, the orange. Look.
Oh, there.
Yes.
couch.
Yes.
Is that right?
You're right. Correct.
Yeah.
Mario Brothers 2. So Dan, you're on 21. World's on 19. Braden, you're letting us down.
Well, yep.
He was born 21 years before that.
You
That
hit me
game
up with
came
a PS2, PS3 game. I might get this someday.
Okay, well, here we go. Here's song number 2. Dan, question number 1.
That changed so much.
What genre of game is that?
It's a walking sim. Braden,
Oh,
question
okay.
number 1.
Well, now I know what to guess. Oh no, I don't because I don't know the friggin' title of it.
I can cheat. I got the show right here.
I closed my folder.
I saw you changing it. I saw you closing it.
Is it What Remains of Edith Finch?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Man, as if you called that handshake to the past.
Oh, pressure was on,
Oh.
man.
I mean, I had it written right in front of
I
me.
closed the folder that has all the clips in it.
Did you know until Braden said, oh.
Oh, no, as soon as you said walk 'em up, I was like, oh, it's obvious.
Yeah. All right, so I thought this episode was going to go a bit longer, but we got one more to go. Here we go.
No, this
Song number 3.
It's been a bit obvious.
Man,
This
We
show.
really need to gif what we just did there. All right, Dan, question number 1.
I feel like I know what it is. But I won't. What is the main protagonist? No. What company made this game?
It's an independent game.
Okay.
Braden.
Ah.
He
Okay.
can't remember the name because he shut his files down.
No, I can. Is it Ding Dong XL?
It's Ding Dong XL.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. At
That-
the end.
I think you failed by doing the ones in the show this week.
Hey, no, I closed that folder. I didn't even know, and oh boy, I wish I still had that open. But I'm happy.
So at the end of episode 71, Dan versus the World, we have Dan on 21 and the World also on 21.
Ooh, even that out.
We are very, very fast coming up to our end of year spectacular in 6 months, which will be live at Greenlight Comics, by the way.
Come and sit on a chair, watch us do this live, and we're going to have a whole panel of guests.
Yeah, hopefully.
Ask them questions. I love that.
Anyway, yeah, so that'll be at the end of the year. Next show, we've got our E3 prediction show, which will be pretty rad.
Yeah.
So start thinking what your predictions are going to be. We're going to do 4 serious ones.
My prediction is they're not going to be able to fill their floor spaces.
4 serious ones and then 1 long shot. So one that you...
And then something we want.
No, just whatever. Like a pterodactyl's going to come down and eat a horse.
I want them to get augmented reality. Get back on that train, you turkeys.
Well, we just saw Minecraft.
A dude in a Crash Bandicoot costume is going to murder someone on stage.
I always want glasses like I'm wearing with augmented reality in them.
We've been Hack the Dino, your nonsense video game variety show. I'm Ben, that's Dan. Braden's on the camera, you saw him earlier. But you can catch us over on youtube.com/hackthedino. But you can also see worst game reviews, your streams, edited down streams maybe soon, and we're cooking up some other stuff which will be rolling out here, there, and nostalgia.
Nostalgia is a show, by the way,
It
not
is.
just a
Nostalgia
word.
is a show.
You don't just get nostalgia from watching us. You might.
Well, it depends.
You might have known me when I was a child and went, there's Dan McGuinness, remember that time he ate that frog?
Did you eat a frog?
I have actually once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A live one?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. What's wrong with you?
Little kid swallowed a frog.
Ugh. You can also see us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. If you don't like the pictures with your eyes, you can hear us with the words in your head. Not those words, though. They're good
not
people.
the ones that say kill.
Don't do it. And also on Twitch at twitch.tv/hackthedino. What else can they see on Twitch, Dan?
What do you mean?
You, when you stream games.
Yeah, me. You can see me. You can see me on Twitch every Sunday. I do I'm a variety streamer, which means I just do a whole bunch of different games and stuff, have a bit of fun. Also, I'm thinking about doing every second Friday streaming as well. So instead of the show's bi-weekly, and then on the off weeks, I'll do a stream.
Yep,
So
and
I would be streaming right now next week.
for those of you still listening, we have heard your request to have this as a weekly show. That'll happen, but we need more
Time
to do it. And
so for now, you just get me streaming instead.
that's right. But down the road, when the interest is there, we will certainly go weekly. So tell your friends, tell them to subscribe, tell them to like. Liking this video will really, really help us out. I doubt anyone's watching anymore, so I'm just going to say random words. Dog.
All right.
Cat.
Credits.
Music.